Okay, moving on to deadlift in this leg compound progression series. Like I said, I really think that squats should be conquered first. So make sure that individuals have that down, because this is changing the loading pattern. Rather, the natural squat position here, you're going to add weight on from your back. It's going to be right centered over your hips. When you have barbell squat, you can use some of those cueings on the outside, right? They can help you bring back into that center. But here, we're pulling from the ground and we're pulling from down, and that's a really different loading structure, and I feel it's more advanced. The other reason is my goal in squat, you're going to have neurological development and muscular development either way. But I really think in squat is that you have a fairly balance of both. You're going to improve some of your nervous system. That's going to create more voltage that's going to come down to those muscles. You're going to increase those coordination patterns. You're going to increase it so that you're getting more firing to more motor units in order to move more. And because you have so much range of motion within the squat, you're going to get a lot of muscular development. Now, I'm not saying that by loading a ton of weight on deadlift, you're not going to get muscular development, but I really think of the purpose of deadlift within the programs that I write as a neurological overload lift. It's mainly focused on increasing the amount of voltage that gets sent to your muscles, because that's one way we get more powerful. And I see this that way. Now, some individuals see it as muscular development for the hips and back, and they do a lot of sumo deadlifts, trying to get as much weight as they can. And I just don't feel if that's as conducive towards athletic or general fitness training. I feel, just from my experience and the research that I've done, that straight barbell deadlift or hex bar deadlift, either or, is going to match and mirror the needs of young athletes that are developing, or overall athletes, and individuals interested in fitness. That's what I think it is. And I like going with a little bit narrow base. And like I said, the goal here, again, the way I write programs and the way that I function this into my programs is neurological overload. So I actually want my feet a little narrower, and that's going to allow me to be taller when I grab the bar. And the reason for that being is if I'm taller, I'm not having to carry as much weight as a bar. I can put more weight on. So that is how, by going narrow and keeping the bar close to my body, that I'm able to overload my nervous system more. So with that, I make sure that I grab right outside of my legs when I'm a little bit more narrow. Now, the biggest thing that I see with individuals when they're learning this is they want to pick their butt up first and lift it all with a rounded back. Again, same cues that I used when we were squatting. We want to be in a spot where we can breathe. And if we're hunched over, whether it's squats or here, all of the pressure is on one vertebrae. So let those individuals know that. Let them know that they're only as old as their spine. So if they hurt their back early in their life, they're going to feel a whole lot older, right? Or if they hurt their back at all, they're going to feel a whole lot older. So keep a healthy spine, maintain in that point. And how I have them do that is I have them start light, but the cue that I give, one is pressing evenly in the floor, which is what we practiced on squat, which is why we conquer that first. But the second cue I talk about is kids also, or individuals that are learning this. Sorry, I work with students most of the time. They try and pull with their arms some when they think it gets heavy, right? And that's just body's natural. It tries to call in as many motor units as possible when you tell it to use something. But we want to call in the most efficient motor units at lifting this weight in this form. So what I tell individuals to do is, when you're deadlifting, you push your shoulders to the ceiling. All right? It's not, think about it. When they go to pick up this weight, this is what I see all the time, right? Butt up, and then their chest comes up. If you tell them that their shoulders, right, the top of their neck is what needs to reach the ceiling first, that cues their hips, everything to come underneath. Let their hands sag, be in the proper motion, and the goal is to have your shoulders reach the ceiling first. Here, driving those up. And that even makes proper form to where hips can come in And that's going to help build into cleans or power cleans that we're going to work in later, having that proper hip motion of those coming underneath us. So it's all about having that correct progression, teaching things in the right order, conquering things one at a time, whether it's imbalances, flexibility, and then moving on to some of these more advanced lifts. But here, evenly, stay fairly narrow, hands right outside your body, keep the bar close to your body so you're efficient, and extend straight up. Your shoulders should reach the ceiling first. Other than that, I don't have a ton of great cues on deadlift, other than if an individual really is struggling, make them lighten the weight. And then when form gets right, and they learn to lock in their back from having the cue of breathing right and reaching the ceiling with their shoulders first, then they can put on as much weight as they want. When they have that proper form, they're not going to get hurt. So again, like I said, this is neurological overload is my main main goal within a program.